Okay. I think I am all set. Ugh. Water? Yes, water. 2 cups of water. Good. Hello, Xavier. Hello, Pokemon. Hello, John. Elden Ring. Ooh, I should probably... Yep, there we go. I can move now. Also, I've since added glowstones to my adventurer's kit. They're surprisingly effective lighting sources. Is that so? Do I have any to test? We're gonna have to try that in a cave or something. Oh, right, this is not how we warp. I am so confused. I have not played this game in forever, and this will not be part of the Let's Play, by the way. This is going to be kind of like one of our casual Dark Souls 3 streams whenever I'm trying to get shots. Because I just want to confirm a few things real quick. For those that don't know, Smotown recently came out with a vid. I did not help out with this vid. I'm kind of regretting that I didn't help out, because I would have given some contrary advice. Honestly, though, really good production values on the vid, though, as always. Smotown has been knocking it out of the park with some of his content. How do I... There we go. With some of his content stuff between the thumbnails and the actual editing and things like that. And these are long videos, so as someone who's trying to get a long video edited together, myself, like, that's a lot of work. Oh, no. Phone's going off. Please don't let it be something important. Alright, so first things first, let's go to Chapel of Anticipation. Did we go to Farm Missoula yet? I legit don't remember. I guess there wouldn't necessarily be. Because Farm Missoula is like, no. It's like, no, it has to be like up here, right? I don't think I have, I can't remember if I've actually gone there with the Belfries yet. I've done it in my Confessor playthrough, but... Alright. Is this Anticipation? No, that's Eternal City. Do you remember what the other video you were recommended was? No, I don't. Dang it. Xavier, you reminded me. I actually completely blanked out on the video period. Darn it, I have to go back through my chat on Discord and figure it out. Okay, that's Farm Missoula. Nah, it's lower on the map. Okay, there we go. The Chapel Awaiting a King. The video is awesome. I don't agree with everything in it, but it's very interesting and entertaining. Yeah, I think it was very well put together. Yeah, most of my problems with the video is the Banished Knight stuff. Like, honestly, you take that out, and I think it's basically fine. It's just anything in, like, that first 2/3 that touches the Banished Knight is where I'm like, Okay, so yes, again, as I've always stated, I actually told this to the Lore Hunter when we were having a very wonderful conversation about his recent Stormveil video, which I did see to the end, by the way, so I was very happy with that video. It was very, very cool. Very fair, I think, too, to all sides of different arguments there as well. But yeah, one of the things I pointed out to him and told him to keep watch out for in the future is when you see these Cathedral of the Deep graves, but without the flower parts, because whenever the flowers are there, it's always in the context of Marika's order, and when they're not there, it's always in the context of pagan stuff, like the Banished Knights. So again, this tells us this was a Banished Knight burial ground, buried per their preferences. Alright, so what else do we see here? Smotown's video has an interesting thing where it's basically saying that the statues of Marika with the pot are only used during the Crucible era. I'm actually curious if that's true. So if you guys remember any times where these women with pots are used, please point that out to me. I think they're used in the Fringe Folk Hero's grave, if I recall. Yeah, I think they're used here. I don't know if they're used in any of the catacombs. I don't recall. We do have the Crucible symbol, however, here. Yeah, this is Crucible. You can see the leaves here. For a second, I was like, no, wait, isn't this Erdtree? No, yeah, and then you got the roots down here, so yeah, this is the Crucible. So you got this giant Crucible crest, so this tells us, okay, this was all made during the Crucible era. You can see the lion here. Again, more lion. Now this tells me that Stormveil began construction, and it's possible that this was actually the first part of Stormveil that was actually built during the Crucible era. But then they had to reconquer it during the... I would argue that it had to be reconquered during the post-Crucible era, when it was just the normal Erdtree. And that's how we got this. We're gonna have to look at this again, though, just to double check. The cathedral. I keep messing this up because I'm thinking of like other games. The cathedral, which is like around here, is also probably Crucible era, based on what Smotown's vid showcased, and I'm liable to agree. Yeah, we see more lions here, and it looks like there's a pot drop. Is that a pot though? It's hard to tell if that's a pot or just a very artistic random decoration. Might be a pot with water coming out of it. Again, really hard. Actually, it might be pot with amber coming out of it, and it's trying to take the form of a flower at the same time, right? So it's like, oh, all the liquid, all the amber is kind of looping around to form all these like petals, and the center of the flower is the pot, the vase or whatever it is itself. Then you got the lines in between. So that's all there. So all that, yep. No, nothing here. Again, more lion imagery, more Marika with her pot. We got a few Stormhawks here to show some of the influence of the Banished Knights. Because it seemed like hawks come from Far Missoula, so like Far Missoula seems to have always had hawks and stuff, and that might be where Banished Knights already were learning arts. And then, of course, with Stormhill and stuff. Hey, Night Scout, do you think the reconquering was before or after the era of the hero of Castle Morn? Before. Yeah, so to give you guys my brief timeline, I have a chart here. I post on Twitter before, but I'll just go over it quickly. So I divide this thing into like 3 distinct eras based on the crests of the... There we go, I need this thing open anyway, so this is good to have it here. Okay, so I basically divide this into 3 eras based on the crests used in the incantations and stuff. So we have Erdtree, we have Crucible, we have Dying Crucible, and then we have regular Erdtree sigil stuff, right? So, do I have it? Yeah, so this would be like the modern Erdtree sigil, and then of course we have the Crucible era sigil, which I just showed there, and then you have Dying Crucible era sigil, which is basically just the Crucible era symbol, but less leaves. They're like, oh, okay, less foliage, fine. Okay, anything here that helps distinguish it? Again, it talks about how it's the chapel awaiting a king, and I can't tell if that's supposed to be a reference to us in our journey to become Elden Lord or something else. I'm talking about, of course, the Japanese name. Obviously, the English is just anticipation. But the idea is that it's anticipation of a king. I think this is where, yeah, this is where we get it, right? We do have the image of Marika, but she doesn't have the pot here. So no pouring. No pouring of drops. Do you think the big statue of Marika originally had gold, but it all flaked away except for parts of the Kami floating sash? Wait, what? Oh, the Kami floating sash. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, because the problem with being like, oh, well, maybe it's supposed to have that gold like that, right? I don't know, I feel like I want to have a DLC where it has, like, the same statue but in gold before I, like, indulge that completely. But, like, it's such a minor detail, I don't know if I really care either way. Yeah, the problem I think I would have with it is that, like, why is it that the sash is fine but the rest of her is regular statue color? I don't know. It just seems a little too selective. in my opinion. But like I said, it's just a minor point. Okay, so that seems to more or less affirm that, yep, this stuff, this was definitely Crucible era built. Now, we know about Stormveil, it's mostly Romanesque, like the Lore Hunter pointed out. Let's go to Godric's here. Glowstones. Let's see. There's something else. I doubt Godfrey was the one to give the Stormhawks the sword feat. That's definitely more a Godric trait in how Godric views grafting. Oh, yeah, it's possible. Oh, you're still alive. All right, I never killed you. Did he? I thought he said it was Godfrey during Godfrey's conquest. Yeah, so I could definitely see the argument that the hawk thing was maybe more Godric than Godfrey. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Do we see the hawks with the blades anywhere else besides Stormveil Castle? Trying to think. Yeah, we have the same imagery we saw before with the flowers and stuff. This has I think this has the lion crest. Yeah, that's the beast crest under it. So we got the beast crest. We got the lions with the vase thing again. We, of course, got good old Godfrey. All right, let's try out those glowstones. Like, someone was yeah, Platy was tagging me. Let's try this. Where are they? I know I saw it earlier. There we go. Holy hell, you weren't kidding there, Platy. Let's try another one. Surprisingly effective. So yeah. Yeah, okay, I don't think I agree with Tarnished Archaeologist on the idea that, oh yeah, there was this statue of Sarosh, and then they added the statue of Godfrey in front. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's supposed to be there as one statue. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Interesting that we actually see Godfrey with his complete axe, though, considering that in the same castle they have the broken axe. I guess Godric got word from outside the lands between that he should update the painting. What do we have here? We have the image, of course, of the woman pouring the... you can't really see it because the head's in the way, but there's the woman pouring the vase with all these other women and stuff, holding up pillars. Just generic little stuff. Ooh, there's a beast crest here, too. So one of the cases that Smotown alludes to, and I believe this is from TA's work, is that this would represent Erdtree, and then the wild one would represent Crucible. Which, that could be possible. Again, I am willing to at least humor that idea. What do we have here for graves? Oh, we have flat-topped graves, so, okay, more pagan burials. You have to wonder if these were buried after the Stormveil battle with Godfrey defeating Stormlord and all that. And, like, it was like, okay, I'll have you all buried here next to my rotunda. Because you have to keep in mind, there's burial plots back here and up here. This one in particular, for some reason, has lots of women being buried here. Now, the burial plot locations make sense, because the idea is that all this left side, for whatever reason, has a high concentration of Erdtree roots. Hence why there's the Godwyn head that's growing, like, right here. And, of course, you have those who live in death here and back there. Obviously, all the Godwyn influence on the rotting this stuff. So that all makes sense. And then, finally, the idea that there was clearly a, like, shrine for, like, sailing people down for Erdtree burial, but obviously the Godwyn thing is there now, and thus there's an ulcerated tree spirit. So that all makes sense. So that all I'm not forgetting. I like how Smotown talked about Grace at the end. I can't recall many people discussing Grace. Grace is a very, Grace is an easy to forget about aspect of this game, much like Fate. Ever so important Fate. Do you think all tarnish would be brought to the Chapel of Anticipation beneath the hand of that statue? I don't know. I have no opinion on that. Do the Sage and Single Branch statues outside the Stormveil throne room have gold on the flowers? Ooh. Outside the throne room have gold. I have to check that more closely. It looks like we have gold on the plant parts here, at least, for these statues. These are the same statues I think we see inside the rampart walls, right? Also, interestingly, that wishbone A shape near Godfrey's statue level with the player's knees resembles sections of Farum Azula. The wishbone shape. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. I do not recall. This does not look... Looks like normal. No gold there. But definitely... Actually, I don't see gold here either. Doesn't look gold, at least. I have to check compared to the chapel. So where's the wishbone look? God, I feel like I've heard wishbone before too. Do you mean this here? If so, I'll have to keep that in mind when I get to Farum Azula. FA. Okay, this is the same thing here. Okay. I wonder if these are supposed to be like burial things, kind of like in Anor Londo next to Gwyn's mausoleum. I want to say no. But with how it's used at the chapel, it could be. Let me just double check there's nothing here. Yeah, I don't see anything here of note, just regular pots. Generic pots and storage things. You know, storage containers, you know, you're filtering stuff in from the back, and you're bringing it up front through the rotunda, probably so you can help make sure that Godfrey can stay happy, being able to eat and drink at will in his throne. No, it's right below Godfrey's statue. Gotcha, Night Scout. I don't think so. Even then, we see Hawks without swords on the other side of the bridge. Oh. Oh. Do we? If so, then. Is this what you mean by wishbone, then, with these little gothic, like, arches? I'm gonna take a screenshot, if so, just so I can have this on record when we get to FA. The Vagabond of Cheese! I say we are analyzing for something, though I know not what we are trying to find it. It is often amusing to see what will happen. Please, my good sire, entertain the audience. I thirst for action. It might be a very, very short stream, Mr. Vagabond. I, again, am praying that you will reclaim your throne. Just as my tarnished attempts to reclaim his. I deserve to be Elden Lord. What are we looking for? I'm just trying to confirm all the little environmental details for my dock I'm sending to Smotown. Again, Smotown has always been a bro and always listening to my feedback for him. I have quite the bit for him this time around. Yeah, nothing else to say. I don't care about you. Go away. Ow. Alright, so we have the little cathedral church out here. Out. Oh no! I forgot the jump button's triangle. Woo. Okay, yeah, Stormveil shit, Stormveil shit, Stormveil shit, Stormveil shit, no one cares. Yeah, I gotta agree with the lore hunter. Now that I look at this in the big picture, he's right. This really doesn't make much sense. This is clearly gameplay over lore in terms of making sense of these flying buttresses and crap. But yeah, we talked about the. I'm not here to look at the shrine area, so let's move on. I think we got everyone to run away. Oh, where did you come from, dog? You... Ow. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I might have actually died otherwise. There we go. I swear, saved by the omen. See, they're not so bad, chat. Wait. Wait. But I jumped with triangle. Huh? Or was that just a really delayed X input? Okay, whatever. I'm now jumping with X, sure. Okay, we know this. This is the library. Now, what's interesting here is that this is a library directly beneath the other library that's part of this cathedral architecture up here, right? So, like, there's the library area up there, and then there's one directly below it that we can only access here, which I find most hilarious. You can even see the same pews, right? Oh, well, you could have seen the same pews if I wasn't an idiot. We've ruined all the books. Again, I find this most disconcerting. Okay, nothing to see here. Do you think the throne rotunda building was clawed at by a giant talon, or was it just scraped by a catapult or treasure? I say neither, Night Scout. It's Godwin. What are we looking at? That's the wishbone. Okay, gotcha. Reminds me of the kanji for a large fire, 2 ALA, fire blast. Yeah, the kanji for flame or fire can be used for that. I wouldn't necessarily say for the bigger flame that you're thinking of, though. Glowstone reminder. You made jump triangle. No, no, I didn't. Apparently, I thought I did because I'm like, oh, it's not X isn't working, but I guess X was just super delayed because I was getting attacked or something. Because I could have swore I pressed triangle and I had immediate response on my jump, but I don't know. It's late. I'm tired. I'm probably going crazy. I'm probably just insane. That always disappoints me, chat. Ow. Yeah, I just don't want to deal with dodging little shits. There we go, now I can pillage. Yeah, this is the chapel. Nothing we can really say here beyond what we already did. Kind of makes you wonder if all this is disconnected, maybe because this is from the strictly from the Crucible era. I don't know. Well, I hope your path to lordship goes quite well, my friend. A wishbone, you say? I remember a riddle from an ancient time. Find the rock under the mural. The fucking sun burns my skin. Good hunting. Good hunting to you as well, Mr. Vagabond. I wonder if there's any meme books in this game. Oh, man. How to not be maidenless? That would be hilarious. Oh, look at that. Lothric royal family. They left a nice little cloth down for us. Honestly, Oseros did a lot of good patronage to other kingdoms. It wasn't just Sullivan that he was butt pals with. Interesting little gargoyles here. Do we have a non-ruined one? Apparently not. Hello? Oh, hello? So this is where we have Lady with Pot. I don't know, they may be right. Smotown, or whoever he got the idea from, may be absolutely right to say that these are all Crucible era buildings because of the pot imagery. I can't actually buy that at this juncture. And the idea here would be that this is the Crucible that is being represented. And the rest, I guess, were just basic Erdtree or something. That could be possible. Again, wonderful patronage from the Lothric royal family. You love to see it. Beastcrest. The pews. Again, I talked about the library thing, and this is right above where the portrait room, no, portrait painting room is. Bunch of fools who decided they were tired of reading. I think we go back here. Out of curiosity, who do you think may have murdered the Finger Maid at the start of the game with Chapel Anticipation? Fans are divided between the Scion and Vare. I have absolutely zero opinion. Again, Elden Ring's the game I have not even finished my first playthrough for, and I feel like I keep on extending it, despite the fact that I'm now watching lore videos. Oh, I never got that item. What the hell is that item there? Uh-huh. Wow, I actually missed an item. I almost feel bad. Alright, so we got the hawk imagery, we got the paladin statues. We got a... Oh, there's an axe! I never noticed that. There's an actual axe by this corpse. You know what? That's cute. They don't do this a lot of times, but it is cute they do it this time. And again, I always find it strange how all these bodies are on fire. Again, hilariously broken axe breaking continuity. You know what the funny part is? I bet you this actually was a portrait designed for the Long March, given the like ocean imagery and stuff at Godfrey's feet. But they completely forgot about how the axe should be, you know, normal when they were putting it up in Stormveil. I would not be surprised if that was the idea. I could have just slashed you, but I'm lazy. Oh, right, you're weak. Sorry, I forgot. Excuse me, sir, I want another complete look at this. There we go, thank you, don't break anything. Alright, so we have the Beast Crest, we have the Beast Crest on these, carpets, which is the same Beast Crest that wraps around those in Far Missoula, if I recall correctly, because they have, like, head wraps or something. Or, actually, no, it's not just Far Missoula, there's a few with head wraps here, too, right? So we have this, we have, again, another scroll. Now, again, assuming that this isn't the quote-unquote Great Tree, as TA and others have theorized, if this is just the Erd Tree, honestly, I feel like this would just tell us that the Banished Knights were the original stewards of the Erd Tree, which makes sense because the Fortified Manor is right there, and the Fortified Manor seems to be where Godfrey, you know, relinquished his old axe for the new one, right? With the axe stuck in the round table. Uh-huh. Dragons. There is a case I think you can at least make that the black banners at least are supposed to be from Banished Knight era, hence why they're always torn, and they did make a non-torn version. I would want to check that against every area where we find them, because I think we find them in storage, or quasi-storage in the Langdell, if I recall correctly. They're obviously in the Fortified Manor. They're here. I wonder if they're anywhere else that I don't know about yet. Yeah, the Stormhawk thing. Again, you have these chairs, much like the Fortified Manor / Round Table Hold, that have, like, hawk imagery in them. Hawks on the back of the seating. Again, so it tells us that, of course, the hawk imagery, along with the beast imagery, seem to predate them coming to Stormveil. Again, it's probably because they got it from Far Missoula. Especially... farewell, friend. May take this with you. Cheese. It's not much, but ever since my lordship has been taken, the holy powers of cheese didn't apply anymore. I left a like. Thank you. Thank you, my good sir. Let's see. Oh, my dear fellow, my eyes pierce my fatigue. Jesus Christ forbids me to go to my rest. He has cursed me into a life of insomnia. He believes it to be a sin of sloth. Now I stay awake as a peasant. Great one, Vagabond. Oh, beat the last boss of my New Game Plus playthrough. It's a lot harder when you aren't using Mimic Deer. Is it true? I wonder if there's a... I felt interesting that the single branch statue here only serving to highlight the central multiple branch statue. Is that so? Also, even the throne room, the single branches don't have gold flowers. Yep, I'm noticing that. I feel like we have seen them with gold flowers, though, right? I don't think you made that up, right, Night Scout? Do you recall where you saw that exactly? Because I can't recall. Oh, is it Round Table Hold? It might be Round Table Hold. Part of my headcanon is that Elden Ring is the world painting by the painting woman in the painted world of Ariandel, so maybe the painting woman was a fan of Lothric Kingdom. Who knows? There's a head wrap guy in Caelid, too. Ah, yes, with the cathedral. Let's actually go there next. I think we've covered the stuff here, and I don't want to get that stupid one item in Stormveil for a non-Let's Play. Let's go here. I think the Great Tree is the same Erd Tree, but under a different organization/rule. Yeah, that might be fair. That's not actually, there isn't actually a different tree. The problem, again, the problem I've always said is, the problem with Great Tree is that it's used very clearly in multiple cases to be used to refer to the Erd Tree, like, explicitly. So you have to make the case that the quote-unquote Great Tree, one word, capitalized, all that, that the localization points out, is simply a different usage of that term, which is possible. I don't think it's impossible or improbable, even. I've seen cases where king is being used differently within the same sentence in this game specifically. So, again, you could make that argument. That's just a case of same term, different context or usage. I mean, God's the same way as well when you think about it. All the gods in this series, like, stop using the term God, please, Miyazaki, Martin, what are you doing? Oh, well, I deserve that. But yep, this is the guy with the beast crest, I think, on it, with the wrap. You just can't really see it clearly. Oh, how big is that hawk compared to everyone else in the painting? Maybe it's the Stormhawk. In the painting, I don't know. I think it's just in the foreground, because everything else is just kind of, everything else is sort of portrayed in the just like background scenery, I think. I don't think there's anyone else in there. Let's see. Goldflower in the Fortified Manor, but seems to only be it. Fortified Manor and Round Table, I assume you mean, so. Oh, why do I even bother? The range is not large enough for this. Seriously, you just need to make the range on this spell, like, an extra 5 meters, and I think it'll be good. It just feels always slightly too short. Where's the other one? He like, goes here, right? Yeah, there he is. Well, sir. Do you mind a glowstone? Oh, I can't believe that worked. Oh, damn it, I forgot. This is Sekiro logic. We can't have fun anymore, chat. No fun allowed. God. I hate it. I hate it. Actually, there may not be a beast crest on these guys. It's really hard to see it here. It's on their shield still, right? Like, you can see that very clearly on that, I guess, top left corner, but right now it's, like, more like top... Yeah, I guess it's still technically top left, yeah. No, I think maybe that's there. I think what I'm seeing here is, like, the edge of the tail or something. Anyway. That'll do. Thank you, sir. Wait, why won't I... Why can't I backstab you? Oh, I forgot how to backstab. I could swear Kenneth Height's reference to the Erd Tree is to the Crucible of the Tree. I'll have to look into that. When he talks about communing with the demi-humans. I mean, that's possible. So I wonder if gold is actually just sign of wealth in the capital, not based on it solely being an Erd Tree sprout. Ah, I see. Yeah, I think the use of a golden flower would definitely be indicative of, probably trying to highlight wealth and influence of, I guess importance would be the word, right? Because it's like, okay, it's not just a regular statue, it's a statue with a golden flower he's holding, right? So yeah, I think that makes sense. Which would make sense if this is the Fortified Manor is like the first place where, Godfrey and Marika establish a home base, right? Like, they take over the manor and they start building up their capital from there. A finger reader outside, Lindell even tells the player to go to the Great Tree in the English dialogue, while clearly intended to be the Erd Tree, which he calls gold, reaching the... Yeah, I've confirmed in the Japanese script that that's definitely, like, the exact same terminology being used for the so-called quote-unquote Great Tree. So yeah, like I said, multiple references to a Great Tree that is the Erd Tree, so there is no reason why you should automatically be assuming, well, when it calls about the Great Tree, it's completely separate from the Erd Tree. Like, no. Again, we have the tree and beast crest armor or whatever for Godric, which again, its name is Great Tree, and then the same thing with Ennia's or whoever the finger reader's dialogue is. Yeah, Manor and Holder are nearly one of the same with statues. Yeah, good to know. I can hear all the PvP yelling "Ree!" at your submission, making Stars of Ruin have a better reach. Yeah, I can imagine. But hey, we can separate PvE buffs from PvP buffs, so PvP people don't have to bitch and moan. All right, so we have this. So the idea is that these are probably the folks wiped out by Godfrey's last battle, right? Because like you have the swords for the battle, which doesn't specify anyone or anything right here. It just goes like, oh, this is Godfrey's last battle. He turns tarnished, darn. So it makes more sense that this is where the last of the Banished Knight holdouts were, and they got wiped out, of course. The question... Okay, so these ruins are probably... I guess the question then is when did these ruins... I wonder if these Kylum ruins are... Yeah, I think these Kylum ruins are probably for... for Banished Knights or not. I have to check what items are found here. Like, what's the boss give you for this area? Kylum ruins. Anything else I want to check out? I guess it could be this, too. This could also be Banished Knight ruins. It's hard to say, because it could be just, like, a settlement that existed, but then it was ruined because of the Scarlet Rot, and not necessarily because of the whole... Oh, Banished Knights lived here, but then Godfrey came in and said no. Again, another area where I'd want to know what the items are. Let's check out Fringe Folk ruins real quick. I think this is safe. Let's see. He got a bulge. Listen, gotta have that crotch guard, John. It's very important. You never want to be in battle without your crotch protection. Unless you're Gundyr and friends. So again, more female statues make sense with Marika. We'll quickly go down to her area. Again, we see the dragon statue, the dragon banners, because this is Banished Knight burial. For those wondering, the term Fringe Folk Heroes Grave here refers to frontier heroes' graves. So again, the idea is that this, Limgrave, Caelid, Weeping Peninsula, this is the frontier, the remote regions of the continent, right? Because everything, the center of power, is here. So everything's put in relation, right? So America has the statement here about how she says, hey, are you going to be part of the Order, or are you going to exist outside of it, and therefore you're going to be banished to the frontier without, bereft of any power, basically. It's like, okay, this is how we get the Banished Knights all the way over here in the south. And like I said, that's where they build Stormveil and stuff, which is, again, where I have a huge departure from Smotown's Godfrey vid on this topic. Where it's like, no, all of this was part of... See, and this is where I have to kind of highlight the obvious here. I'm going to do this real quick. Oh, of course, because I'm in combat, duh. Alright, let's just do this real quick. Thank you. Why would Godfrey, who's in the middle of battling people up here, trying to be, going from Horalu to Godfrey, and eventually trying to conquer, where is it? Here, so he can get to his good old Erd Tree, which is like, I know the graphics are misleading, but the Erd Tree's like, yeah, the Gerd tree basically starts here proper, right? Like, this is where the main thing is, and like, there's the manor right there. So this is Godfrey conquering, like, he's defeating the people of the old hero, right? The old hero who was the Revenger, who was buried. His people were buried here. He takes all their swords. And apparently not enough, because their skeletons have swords too. Funny how that works. Anyway, and I guess everyone had a spare sword. And then they basically goes off to have revenge on Godfrey later down the line, but we have basically Godfrey's fighting these guys, obviously has to take Gelmir, like all these people. Why would he be going back and forth from the south and upward? It's like, okay, now he's going to go battle and fight at Stormveil Castle and beat the Stormlord, which in Smotown's estimation is Placidus Saxon. I heavily disagree there. And then, oh, he's going to go fight up here, but he's also going to then come down and fight and get in a siege with the Revenger at Castle Morn. Like, there's just so many problems there. It's much more sensible to just say, okay, they unite the plateau, the banished knights get banished, because, you know, plateau's united, but they refuse to assimilate, so, okay, fine, you can be in these penal colonies. They skip over Liurnia and go straight to the rural south in the frontier, because, again, Marika's chief concern is big ol' scary giants on the mountaintops with their flame that could easily burn the tree she's finally got in control of. And Liurnia, they just don't have the army or the focus to be conquering this land. So it's like, okay, we're just going to be passing through, and then we'll go, and first thing we'll do is create a castle here, and maybe they'll also be involved in castles there. It doesn't seem that way to me. I think it was just Stormveil, and then when the rebellion happens, they start building other fortifications and stuff here to kind of like make the land their own. But anyway, yeah, just very bizarre. It makes more sense later on when the rebellions happen for Godfrey to be coming down here and then dealing with Morn and then finally handling Caelid, and then it's like, okay, time to go long march our way out of here. It seems weird to call the multi-brain statue something vanquished and separate when Marika honored it so prominently through her entire reign. I don't know about vanquished would be the right word. But again, it could be something that's remembered, because we have to keep in mind that the Crucible continues to be remembered even after it's gone, right? Like the Icon Shield and stuff like that. So it's not like it's this forgotten thing where it's like, well, there's no more Crucible, we're going to stop paying attention to it. It seems to be this thing where it's kind of like, again, it's part of this kind of like what we wish the Erd Tree would be in its ideal state. What it should be, as it were. With how Caelid has a Colosseum in it, do you think Godfrey took over northern Caelid first and only wiped out the south years later? That could be possible. Yeah, that could be possible. The fact that there is a an arena here tells us that they had to have taken it at some point and used it for something. The problem I have with Caelid's arena, honestly, is that you can only really access it from the Shifra well. And that's such a weird... Like, are we supposed to believe that some of it was lost, maybe? With, kind of like with the Divine Tower of Caelid with Farum Azula going up in the air. Like, maybe? But I feel like, I guess the question would be, was Farum Azula already up in the air or not by this point when Godfrey's last conflict is happening? But yeah, I'd have to agree. If Godfrey never touched Caelid before his last conflict, right, the one that makes him tarnish, then it's probably something where they built the arenas first after like sweeping over like the northern half, because obviously you have to secure that part because it's like the entry point from Limgrave, and then he would have to start going down south, and we know that it has to end here where the church is. This might be where Redmane Castle originated. That might explain where Redmane Castle, when it was built, because then we know that Radahn eventually comes here. So you could argue that when Radahn was staying in here to study gravity magic, so he could ride his horse, that maybe this castle was built then. Actually, what's the style of this castle? It's not the same as the Banished Knight, is it? Yeah, so there's the lion with this weapon and stuff. Like, is this the same style as, Is this the same style as the other Banished Knight stuff? Because if so, then we can then probably say that this was a Banished Knight settlement that was captured by Godfrey. I haven't really paid attention to the architectural style here. So I don't know if it's reusing assets from Castle Morn and Stormveil or not. Obviously the dragon thing it is. Ooh, actually, because Smowtown does mention the idea that these are specifically related to the Banished Knights, and I wasn't sure because I also saw them here. But I was like, wait a second. If this is a, I guess it is at least Romanesque, like the Lore Hunter has said with Banished Knight stuff, so. Speaking of the Caelid Coliseum, what's up with the giant pot man? Again, the pots are a bunch of warriors' flesh and thus souls who seem to be melded together into these pots and become their own consciousness / identity, right? And thus have their own power. And it seems like that's just a really big, powerful pot who's like, I want you to prove your strength. That seems to be the idea. Giant pot man is a giant pot. I'm assuming Godfrey put a big fucking giant in it and a great jar was eventually poured. Reminds me of Castle Soul. Well, Castle Soul is definitely the same style as Castle Morn, right? Like, that's 100%, like... Honestly, yeah, the more I look at it, the more familiar it is to me as Castle Morn style. So yeah, this might be a Banished Knight settlement originally. And then Godfrey took it. And then it became this. Well. Uh-huh. Because I have to think, what Romanesque-style castles do we have? We have Castle Morn. We have Redmane. We have Stormveil. What about Fort Height? Does Fort Height reuse assets like that?